Alright, Shalom. I want to start by saying, Call HALAL, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, BAHASHAM, Kakadash. Double honors to the Apostle of Israel, aka the Apostle of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Alright, so real quick, have something here. This article is from this is 2 days ago, from Union Rayo, which is a credible source. And it says, and this is a common topic. There's plenty of coverage on this, regarding all this AI stuff. But it says goodbye to humans in warehouses. Amazon rolls out new autonomous robots in the UK and accelerates full automation. So automated robots. So like some futuristic shit, like Terminator, RoboCop, Judge Dredd, all that type of shit. These devils is doing this in real time now. If you go into those movies, especially like Terminator and RoboCop, those take place in the 2020s. The first Terminator, the Terminator was sent back from 2029, and then RoboCop was 2028. So we're already in 2025, and they already got this thing going in a nice pace. So yeah, so it says goodbye to humans in warehouses. Now remember, when you go back into it, they said the guy, I think his name is Sam Waltman or something, brother said his name is, but they said that the AI is going to be taking over half of 50% of all entry-level jobs in the future. So that's white-collar jobs, and now you're talking about warehouse jobs, so that's blue-collar and white-collar, all right? So it says, and this is the title of the video I use, so it says Amazon is going to put an end to human labor. Because when you go into the scriptures, it talks about the grind and cease, which is scripture I'm going to get, all right? Because, when I seen this, I'm like, oh, shit, like this is really happening. Like, this is really happening. And it's not going to stop. This is going to be, and remember, ultimately, this is going to be the cause that ushers in the MOTB. All this automated, all this AI, all this robot humanoid shit is all in course of the beast system, all right? So it says Amazon is going to put an end to human labor. Yes, it has reached a turning point that will change how we view salary work forever. Robots will outnumber human employees in warehouses around the world. The company that until a few years ago was seen as a major job creator has now said no more human labor, it wants more robots. Remember, everybody, it's mad Amazon trucks, mad Amazon shit around here. All them Amazon pubs, all these warehouses. Amazon took over like what Walmart used to be back in the day. When Walmart first came out, everybody's like, all else fails, go try to work at Walmart. And now they say, so all after being what it says, it says, seen as a major job creator, has now said no more human labor. Just like that, within the course of a few years. All right? It says it wants more robots. And yes, it will be the first time that robots outnumber human employees. And that's where it's at right now. That's where it's at. That's where we're headed. Where the robots are going to outnumber humans. And this is from July 6th. It says, even though Amazon already has 1 million machines from robotic arms to wheeled transporters since 2020. Now a lot has transpired as far as these devils bringing in this new AI and all this shit since 2020. Because during the whole Emic thing, they were talking about the whole digital transition of things. Now, I don't remember if AI spoke about that much as far as the robots and all that, but I remember all the cashless society, digital currency, online shopping, that gained more traction. Human employees. It says layoffs continue and job automation doesn't seem to be slowing down. Now, no, that makes me want to grab the scripture. Hold up. Come on. Now I'm gonna jump around. I'm gonna read Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3 in the King James, but I'm gonna read verse 4 in the NLT. So it's the book of Ecclesiastes chapter 12 verse 3, and it reads, "And the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened." Now, what is it in there? Few remaining servants. So yeah, so those keepers of the house, you know, goes into all these Wall Street, I won't say Wall Street, but all these financial individuals that have, that, you know, these make these theories and hypotheses and all that. But at the end of the day, this is all orchestrated by the elites and ultimately orchestrated by Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Because why? Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the one true living God, works on the minds of all the kings, man. So he has the elites, he has the Rothschilds, he has these devils doing all of what they're doing, man. Now, when you go into verse 4, I'm going to read that in NLT. It says, "Remember him," which is the Lord, "remember him before the door to life's opportunities is closed and the sound of work fades. Now you rise at the first chirping of the birds, but then all their sounds will grow faint." Because why? All their sounds will grow faint because why? You're not going to need to get up. And also, too, these devils killing all the birds. They say, you know, birds be flying in the windows and all that. But it says, "Remember him before the door to life's opportunities is closed and the sound of work fades." And that's what's happening right now. The sound of work is fading. And this is prophecy, man. This is straight up cold-blooded prophecy. And it's not going to stop. They said they don't seem to be slowing down. Now, hold up. Chapter 2. Now, this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, and it reads, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and shall not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." And that's what's been happening for all these years. But now what? The end is speaking louder and speaking more. So now, like, you see how these devils is moving fast with this shit? Moving fast with the war, the third woe coming quickly? All these things that's happening is pointing to what? The end is speaking. The end of Esau's kingdom. The end of America, the end of Russia, the end of NATO, the end of the EU, the end of all of that, man. All this stuff this devil's done on the earth is about to be done away with, man, as he is, man. So yes, so all your monuments, your Statue of Liberties, your Eiffel Towers, your what else? Nah, I think that is the Eiffel Tower. All the shit in France, Italy, all of that, man. Because all these things that Esau's made on the earth is all gonna be destroyed, man. But it says for the vision is yet for an appointed time, and that appointed time is getting closer. Each day that passes, we're getting to this appointed time, which is the day of the Lord. And it says, "But at the end it shall speak." But at the end I shall speak. Now this scripture is going to be getting brought out a lot, because as the time goes on, the end is going to be speaking more and more. And I'm going to get back to this article, because that article is part of the end speaking. But I'm reading this in the NLT. Oops. Hold on one second. Gotta have these waters in here. Mouth a little dry. Hold on. The end shall speak. And sure enough, it's speaking as we speak. As I speak and as everyone speaks. That's good water. So this is the book of Ecclesiastes, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. In the NLT, it reads, this vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, which what brothers are continuing to do, man. We got to continue to wait patiently, because the end is not yet. But as time goes on, the end is just speaking more and more and speaking more loudly. Not tarrying. It says, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed. It will surely take place. So all of what the prophets of Yahawah BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI have been saying for all these years, all these decades, is going to take place. You got people, you got Jake, these heathens, they're not even considering what's about to go down, man. Now the higher ups and the people that pay attention worth a damn, they're gonna know. But a lot of the people, especially American people, they're still drilling carelessly, man. They still thinking like, yo, if it's still over there, we good. But all of the action, all remember, this is the Babylon the Great. So once it comes over here, this is the last stop. And this is where it gets the worst. You see what happened over there in that storm over there in Texas? That's just the tip of the iceberg, man. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Because what? These devils, man, the spirit enemy is not upright. They don't know how to do righteousness. All they know is evil and wickedness, man. And now they got the whole earth drunken off of that wickedness and off of that evil. Verse 4. Now, this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4 in the NLT. It says, look at the proud. Now, what is the whole thing they talk about? Oh, American pride. Proud to be an American. You're proud to be a country that's about to be destroyed. You're proud to be part of a country that's being destroyed as we speak, and then ultimately it's going to be literally destroyed by thermonuclear fire, those missiles, man. It says, look at the proud. They trust in themselves. And hey, case in point, Donald Trump, man. Donald Trump is a clear example of the proud, man. And the proud of these devils, man. He represents Esau right now. You know, roughly. It says, and their lives are crooked, but the righteous will live by their faithfulness to YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. See, the other nations in Esau, 2/3 of our people, they're not living in the faith of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. That's why the Lord is going to continue to judge them, man. You think, yo, that camp in Texas, that was a so-called Christian camp. Now, I haven't heard any of the people that survivors talk about what that was the judgment of the Lord. Not once. I didn't hear it. They're talking about pray for them and this, that, and the third. Well, hold up. Well, who exactly are we praying to? Because who is it? Shouldn't we be praying to the God that did it so he don't do it to you? That's what people not understand. All right, what? Like, it's not a natural disaster. The Lord said he's going to visit with storms. Remember, the Lord said he created the heavens and the earth. All the elements, all that water, all the rain, all that. The Lord did it. Then Yahawashi said, I have the keys to hell and death. The issue of life and death is with him. Matter of fact, hold up, let me get a quick precept. Because they'll say, oh, well, that's kind of harsh, but it's the truth. If you believe that the Most High is whatever God you believe in, right? Even though it's only one true living God, but hypothetically speaking, whatever God you believe in, you will believe that he has control over life and death. Now, these people over there in Texas, I don't hear them. They're saying pray for these people, but who are you going to pray to? What God has what the Lord said? I see there was no other God with me. And if the Lord, and perfect example, because the Lord about to say this. So, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32. Was it? So this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 39, and it reads, see now that I, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, even I am he, and there is no God with me. So that's the God of the Bible, the God of Jacob, the God that actually showed himself to his servants and the people he chose, saying, see now that see now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. So YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI is saying that there's no God with me. And clearly it's not, because if he's saying, read it. So he says, I kill and I make alive. Now, weren't those people in Texas killed and counting? Weren't they unalived? But you're not hearing one soul talk about that. Hey, that was the judgment from the Lord. Only people you're going to hear say that is the prophets. Only people you're going to hear say is that hopeful elect. That's the only people you're going to hear say that. Everybody else is going to say, oh, pray for the people and this, that, and the third, and yada, yada, yada. But here it is. It was a Christian camp, so quote unquote church camp. But the Lord did that. Now, even though his name is not Christ, that's still the God of the Bible that you're referencing, or so you thought. But yeah, what did he do? He took out almost, it's 100 people right now and counting. So who you gonna pray to? Because the God of the Bible, the one true living God, is who did it. And you're not gonna pray to him. Because the Lord didn't give you his name. Those are, for the most part, those are Edomites that this is happening to, so-called white people. And this is not a shot on trying to sound racist, but I'm talking about, these are the facts. This is in the Bible. It says, I kill and I make alive, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. Now, nobody was able to deliver those people out of his hand. Because if he said, I kill and make up alive, they sure enough was killed. They sure enough are not with us anymore. They sure enough are in the spirit world right now. And the Lord did it to youth. Youth. But the Lord don't look at the body, the flesh as, oh, that's an old person, as a young person, or as a baby. He looks at the spirit. The spirit is what the Lord is looking at. The whole thing of the flesh is just a development on the earth. The spirit is development in a vessel on the earth. But the Lord don't care about the vessel of a human. The Lord said what? He looks at the inward parts. So the inward parts of all those people, the Lord felt the need to have to take them out. So this is the NLT of Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39, and it says, look now, I myself and he, there is no other God but me. I am the one who kills and gives life. I am the one who wounds and heals. No one can be rescued from my powerful hand. And it's the Lord, this is the Yahawah, the Heavenly Father, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI talking. He said no one could be delivered out of his hand, his powerful hand. And the Lord had those people taken out in Texas. Now remember what Texas was about in the time of the Jim Crow laws and all that slavery. Remember what Texas was doing to Jake. So those gonna be those spirits came back in the regeneration. Those little youngins, the ones that could have had niggas, ones that could have had Jakes hung, and generations ago. But anyway, let's get back to the point. Get back to this article. Okay, so back to the Amazon about to take away the job. So it says the rise of robots. Hold up. Oh yeah. So it says there's no turning back. Here's what's happening inside Amazon warehouses. It says the rise of robots at Amazon. Amazon isn't new to this, but the current data creates a lot of uncertainty. Robots started arriving at Amazon warehouses in 2020. You know what also happened in 2020? The emic. Now it's starting to put things in perspective on why they actually did that. Because a lot of things transpired when 2020 hit. But the main thing is this digital reset. All right, so I'm saying, it says, but since then their number has increased fivefold. Now nearly matching the number of human employees in a distribution center. So hold up, it's saying that the robots are matching the amount of humans in the distribution centers. How? And man, they said this is not going to stop. It says it's not going to let up. Okay. It says data shows that each worker shipped more than 3,870 packages last year compared to just 175 in 2015. Of course, that number helps explain the changes Amazon wants to keep making. It says now, the question says, do robots improve work life? It says, of course, Amazon will say yes, it's their idea. It says the company claims that robots reduce physical strain and allow employees to avoid repetitive tasks, since the machines now do those. So now see the machines. It says Andy Jassy, CEO of Amazon, said that AI will help leave behind repetitive work and make jobs more interesting. But he also admitted that like with every technical transformation, fewer people will be doing the jobs that get automated. So we're facing a reality. Salaried work is disappearing. Salaried work is disappearing. You don't have to pay the robots a salary. The robots aren't going to ask for a raise. They're going to do everything they're programmed to do. And you know, that was going to have programmed to work, around the clock. Because they say Amazon is like working on a slave plantation. 50, 60 odd hours, non-stop work. I remember years ago, people were passing out at Amazon. You got the trucks running around non-stop. They want to have robots do it because what? And ultimately, they don't want to pay people no more. But they still want to make profit because why? Think about it. They ain't got to pay people no more, but people still got to pay the companies. So all these companies that take the AI route, they're still going to get paid from the people that the jobs are being taken from. but they're not going to have to actually pay the robots. And it says salaried work is disappearing. Salaried work is disappearing. What did the Lord say? The sound of work fades. Remember him before the door to life's opportunities is closed and the sound of work fades. What is happening right now? The door to opportunities are being closed. The sound of work is fading. It says salary work is disappearing. How much more planet can it get? It says, he said there will be other jobs, he said, but the reality, families with no income and machines doing our work. So it says even Amazon claims it has trained 700,000 employees. That's a good number of people trained since 2019. It's also true that it has laid off over 27,000 workers since 2022, and this is not a good number of people laid off, including recent cuts in the retail and devices divisions. Automation seems to be moving faster than job retraining, and many eliminated positions are not being replaced, but substituted. They're substituted by what? AI. That's what that's the grind and cease. This is system. This is the cause. And then also what? The MOTB. Because why? How are people still going to buy and sell if they're not working and not making actual money, cash, or getting card direct deposits? The direct deposit is going to go to what? Your C-HIP. Completely intertwined with the machines. So now they're ushering out the machines, and then ultimately they're going to what? They're going to want to intertwine us with the machines. And then say, yeah, you know what? We got this new little thing look like a grain of rice. You're gonna have to get that to make purchases now, because there's no more cash and there's no more debit and credit. No, so what is going to be the replacement? It's not like, and remember that he said the job's not going to be replaced, and Amazon is the head guys. So Amazon's going to be the company that people follow suit, because they said this is going to be happening throughout all the world, all the earth. Okay, so it says automation seems to be moving faster than job retraining. So the automation is moving faster than the human job retraining or training. It says, and many eliminated positions are not being replaced but substituted. It's normal. People feel afraid about it. Why are people afraid? Because like, yo, what are we going to do? But that's when they usher in the UBI. Elon Musk mentioned this. They've been talking about this universal basic income already. There's already a show on Channel 5. It's called the Universal Income Brothers. And that came out, what, a year or two ago? It says, it's said in whispers that these changes driven by AI help bring the product closer to the customer and improve the experience for both workers and consumers. Wait, which workers, someone says? It says, an inevitable future, but inclusive. It says, Amazon's case is just one example, but it can set the trend for many other companies. Unfortunately for workers. But yeah, fortunately for what? The company still, because they're still going to make bank. We're still going to have to pay them. They're still going to make money. Amazon's still going to deliver shit. But then ultimately it's going to be what? How you going to make those payments though? That's the thing that's a prophecy. Here's the cause right now: automation, AI, loss of jobs, but still gonna need to get paid, because what, you still gonna need to buy and sell. But how much are regular people gonna be selling? All right, but continuing on, it says the use of robots and artificial intelligence, AI, to replace human tasks present a new work reality that not everyone is ready to face. The key will be if workers receive the training needed to adapt to an increasingly automated environment or not. Will Amazon keep its promise of a future where automation benefits everyone, or are we facing a revolution that will leave workers behind? Well, it's going to leave the workers behind, more or less. Because what? That's prophecy. The Lord said the sound of work fades. So this is the sound of work fades. How's it going to bounce? If Amazon is doing it, other companies start doing it, it's not that many companies left. Doing the whole, at C-19, a lot of the mom and pop small businesses, they got wiped out. Couldn't afford rent, couldn't afford a mortgage, couldn't afford whatever. Now these devils really monopolizing with this AI, because now they're going to be the only companies to be around. And everybody, and what the poor, us, is going to have to buy and sell ultimately with an MOTB. Because they're going to start the universal basic income. They're going to start with like maybe a debit card, or start with some, you know, a little bit of what's going on now. But then eventually it's going to be what? You have to get this in your skin. So, you know, it could be, you know, this is what we're going to need to do. It says, we still don't know that either. For now, the only clear thing is that robots are no longer the future. They are here to stay and to steal in some way. And that's the article. So yeah, robots, AI, automation, sound of work fading. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3 and 4. Sound of work fades. Door to life's opportunities close. Because these devils talk about AI will take over half of all entry-level white-collar jobs in the future. And he said with the next, the dude, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, he said for the next one to 5 years. So like they did with the COVID of C-19, right? 2020, 5 years later, 2025, we got a whole new thing ushered out now. Robots, automation, AI, artificial intelligence, massive layoffs at these big companies. So tell me where the Lord is not declaring things that are right. And they're not telling the people like, yo, like people think like, yo, there's no job security no more. That's what people don't understand. Remember, the Lord said the sign of work is going to fade. So it's going to be jobs, and then that work is going to fade. Because AI is going to take over. Hold up, let me see something real quick. See something. Elon Musk. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna find Now this is from February 2025, so this is a few months ago. And look at the picture. It says, will AI replace human jobs and make universal basic income necessary? Here's what AI leaders have said about UBI. So hold up. See that? That's from February of this year. So this is what really been major talks. Aside from the war, aside from all that was going on, the nuclear war and all that, this has been the other trending. This has been the other strong topic that the governments have been talking about. Because while they talk about Iran and small hats and nuclear, all that's fine. But that's all gearing up. So remember, the judgment for taking what they're about to bring out is what that's going to bring. So they have to bring out the cause first. They have to bring out what that judgment is going to persist from, and it's going to persist from this devil's system and ultimately this devil's mark. So I'll read this. So it says, yeah, will AI replace human jobs and make universal basic income necessary? But they know it is. So it says universal basic income, once a utopian ideal, has become a hot topic among AI leaders. Now remember, this article is from February. Not that long ago, only a few months, couple months. It says it's a recurring cash payment made to all adults in a certain population, regardless of their wealth and employment status. So what's the employment status going to be later? It ain't going to be no employment status. It's going to be no more jobs. But what? He said it's going to be still a universal basic income. Like the same thing with the stimulus, the stimmies. It says regardless of their wealth and employment status, there are no restrictions on how recipients spend their money. Now, also they say cash payments, but if they're doing away with cash as well, you see how they try to like talk like, oh, let's see, but you get the cash. No, they know damn well what they want to do. So it says, as advancements in artificial intelligence technology drive economic growth, concerns are rising about whether the wealth it generates is shared equitably. Industry leaders such as OpenAI CEO Sam Altman and AI's godfather Geoffrey Hinton have warned about AI's potential to eliminate jobs. Remember, February. Now we're in July, and they're talking, and Amazon talk about, yeah, you're gonna get rid of these, we're gonna start laying people off and have more. Now they got more. They're gonna have more robots than humans soon, if they don't already. I think it said. So it says eliminate and subsequently widen the wealth gap between the haves and the have-not. They, along with other tech leaders, are advocates of universal basic income as an antidote. So that's gonna be what they usher in now. Might as well get the MOTB script, because now we're getting into the cause that there's gonna be for this devil to cause the earth, all the people, to get something implanted in their skin to buy and sell with it. Now, oh shit, I'm in chapter 16. I'm looking at it like, well, that's not it. Now this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 13, and it says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. Now, granted, those missiles, those are the fucking what do you call it, arsenal that these devils have, right? But he said he doeth great wonders. One of those great wonders is going to be this AI. Well, it is this AI shit, because he's making it seem like, yo, man, this is going to be the next best thing. Because he's saying also too that all this automated, all this stuff that they're trying to do is going to be able to make people live longer. This AI, they talk about the AI is going to take over. Remember, AI take over jobs. Amazon says was a major job creator, and now all of a sudden they said, now we want robots now. Because you know what? People complain too much. People want too much this XYZ. The robots ain't going to say shit. And this is verse 14 of Revelation chapter 13. Oh, it's the same thing. So it says, okay, I'm reading the NLT. So it says, when with all the miracles he was allowed to perform, who allowed these devils to perform these? YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. He gave him the wisdom. He gave him the wisest day, all that. He gave him that. But at the end of the day, he also gave that to him it's going to be his own destruction. Because the AI and the missiles is going to be his destruction. Because he's thinking that, yo, I'm just going, we got this AI, we don't have to pay people no more, we could just still make money. And just, he got all these plans. Remember, he said they think the house shall continue forever. Esau don't think he's going down. Like a majority of the Edomite nation don't think they're going down. See, they at least have a little bit of knowledge of it, but even their pride deceives them. So they think, oh, we continue to do this, and we do this, and if we do this, and we do this, and maybe we can upset the prophecy. But you're not upsetting the prophecy, you're playing into the prophecy's hands. You're doing exactly what the prophecy said. The prophecy of YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, the one true living God that said he hates you. And you're doing everything that he has you set out to do. The Lord said, who can resist his will? You ain't no different, Esau. You elites, you central banking families, YAHAWASHI coming for you. And you can comfort the men of the Lord. You can comfort the prophets. It's all of what the Lord is going to allow you to do. That's what you don't understand. It's what the Lord allowed you to do. And the Lord is not going to allow you to do much for much longer. That's why he said, rejoice and be glad. It says, he deceived all the people who belong to this world. It says he ordered the people to make a great statue of the first beast who was fatally wounded and then come back to, go back to the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, now you got EU, NATO's, now you got all this shit. All of the replication of the first beast was back then. And now they're doing the same thing. Hell, the brother been talking about how they had this dude as Nero, Trump. But even Trump going into slavery. Trump going into slavery, Biden going into slavery, Obama going into slavery, Kamala's going into slavery, Patel, whatever the fuck his name is, the Elamite that got in the government, all y'all motherfuckers going into slavery. Thus saith YAHAWASHI. And that's why y'all mad. And that's why y'all doing all this shit. So y'all thinking y'all just gonna upset the You're not upsetting shit. Everything you're doing is part of the Lord's story. I'm gonna jump down to verse 16. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 16. So all these great wonders, what he's doing with this AI, automation, and humanoids and robots, all this futuristic stuff, all this tech stuff, this is his devil's kingdom. Because ultimately what? His kingdom is his technology, and also is what? His money. So now he's about to intertwine the money with the technology. You see how that works? So it says he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor. Remember, he said the universal basic income, it don't matter your wealth status. All right? But ultimately, it's not going to be cash payments. It ain't going to be direct deposit payments on a debit card or a credit card. It's going to be right. They're going to have it to where you're going to have it implanted in your skin. To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Verse 17, it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So this AI is going to bring that cause. Because if they're people losing jobs, they're going to still have to buy and sell, still have to do something, right? Like he's not going to destroy his society. He's just changing he think he's changing the society to a new thing, to where he's going to be able to control and observe more. That's all all he wants is more power and control. And what more power and control than if something's implanted in your skin? So now your whole spirit is hacked. And that's the part of great miracles, man. He's trying to get in our molecular system. That's what Esau trying to do. He's been trying to be like the most. He's trying to be like the Most High. He better watch everything you do, everything you buy and sell, everywhere you go. You're fucking breathing. How much water you drink? How much all this? He's trying to be the Most High. He's trying to control the mass of the people. He's trying to turn people into cattle. And that's it. So that cause for what's going to bring in this Revelation 13, which I just read, is going to be all this AI, all this automated shit. There you go. That's the key to the code. That's what he's doing. That's what this is all going to lead up to. No more under the table. No more being working off the books. No more not on the payroll. What do you think they're doing with the fucking ICE and all the illegals? And I can't guarantee you, but I have a strong hypothesis. That when he sets out to let more northern tribes back in that he's deported, he's gonna have them get to see it, man. Think about it. He did the same thing with the sticky stab. If you want citizenship quick, get the V. I remember that's what they did, and they're gonna do this. Ain't gonna be. The devil runs the same playbook, because now that we can stop it. But that's going to be the cause. Revelation 13:16, he calls of all. Hold up, let's go back to the article. So the universal basic income, as in this article, as of February 2025, it says cash payments, but we all know cash is going to be obsolete. So it says universal basic income, once a utopian ideal, has become a hot topic among AI leaders. So the same AI leaders, they're talking about the universal basic income because they know what? AI is about to take over and take away people's jobs. So they're just bringing this universal basic income to where like people still getting paid when they're not working. All right? So it says it's a recurring cash payment made to all adults in a certain population, regardless of their wealth and employment status. But what? We all know he's going to cause all. But as of right now, it's saying what? A certain population. But it's going to be the whole Earth's population. He calls them all. He's going to want everyone to get it. But now, granted, everyone is not going to get it. Because Lord willing, I pray for the strength from YAHAWASHI every day to give me the strength to not take the MOTB, to not succumb to this devil's bullshit. That's why it's very important to what? Pray for faith and mercy, man. Strength. Because we're going to need it, because we're going to come into tribulous times ourselves. The hopeful elect, which I hope to be a part of, the elect. But the Lord said, what? I shall deliver you out of it. He has the power to protect. So you got to trust in that and remember that. But so I'm jumping down to this paragraph. So it says, the concept of countries implementing universal basic income has shifted in recent years from a niche topic within tech circles to a mainstream conversation. A mainstream conversation, just like this AI. Because the AI is going to usher in the universal basic income. The universal basic income is going to usher in the MOTB. Because think about it, if people are not working, still getting paid, ain't going to be no more cash. So it says, thanks in part to the former presidential candidate Andrew Yang, who made UBI a central part of his platform in 2020. There go that 2020 again. 2020 was a hell of a year, and now 2025 it turned out to be a hell of a year. Because now they usher in the AI, usher in the automated. Now the mass layoffs is happening. You had IBM, Google, Meta. All these tech companies are now the regular blue collar companies gonna start. Started with the corporate. That is going to go to the top to the bottom. They're not going to need no human. Instead, the human workforce done. And that's prophecy. I just read it. Ecclesiastes 12, 3 and 4. The sound of work fades. The grinding cease. It says Yang campaign on what he called the freedom dividend, monthly 1,000 payments with no strings attached to all American adults. The idea was met with skepticism, and Yang's candidacy quickly fizzled. After the success of the emic era stimulus checks, see? Though and now the rise of AI, the idea has gained new traction. That was it's all a test. It was all an experiment. That whole C19, the whole emic, that was all a freaking experiment, man. To see how people live with getting paid and not working. Remember, hardly nobody was working during the emic. For the most part, a lot of people were not working and getting stimulus checks. So that was the plan. So oh my God. Call law YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI for showing the understanding, man. It said, what? We are not ignorant to say is divisive. Let me get that. Well, let me just one little bit of this article. So it says, guaranteed basic income, which is similar to UBI, but targets specific groups of people for a set period of time, has been piloted over 100 times across the country. The United States has basic income pregame in 16 states, along with Washington, D.C., that gives resident cash, no strings attached. Now granted, take away the cash now. Take away the cash. They're going to give you a payment of whatever sort, digital payment, before the MOTB, no strings attached. And then what? Oh yeah, if you want to keep this up, you're gonna have to get this. You're gonna get this little, just a little small device, a little sweet, little eensy weensy bincy device. Here it is. That device is gonna be whether you burn in the lake of fire or not. Look, that's how you do. That's how bad the Lord is. The Lord made something so small, so tiny, so microscopic, but that very device is gonna be whether you get the Lord's wrath or the Lord's mercy. That's bad. That's crazy. It says the movement toward basic income, remember this is February now. It said the movement toward basic income programs is not without its critics. Some argue, but they could criticize all they want. It says some argue the programs could de-incentivize recipients to work, de-incentivize recipients to work or even encourage them to spend frivolously. Some say the expense of basic income programs could lead to higher taxes or local government budget cuts. It says for now, though, AI leaders say it's the best option to mitigate the adverse economic impacts the technology could have. Here's what some of the major AI figures are saying about UBI. Now, what is taking over right now? AI. So all these motherfuckers in charge and with all this AI shit, they're saying, yo, yeah, the universal basic income is the way to go. That's it. There you go. That's the cause. That's the cause Esau's going to bring Shalom. What about to say? Yeah, I was working. I didn't work during I had the stimmies, But I remember I tried to get a little job. I tried to go back to one of my old jobs, but then they stopped the stimmies because I guess your SS number, social security number. Then I just started working again. But I was paying my rent for the most part when I was getting the stimmies. Not all the time. I ain't gonna lie. I skipped some time. But at the end of the day, it didn't mean shit. And ultimately, that was, like I said, that was an experiment for where we're at right now, 5 years removed. Okay, hold on. Here's I guess a study for the UB. I said the study distributed payments to 3,000 urban first, suburban and rural residents of Texas and Illinois, all of whom had annual incomes below $28,000. 1/3 received $1,000 a month for 3 years, while the rest received $50 a month. Now, granted, small numbers, but they're gonna work out the hash. They're gonna work out the kinks and declare an amount. Now, granted, it's not gonna be enough to cake off of, but you know how these devils do their ration. And that's when they're gonna start having all these 15-minute cities, smart cities. Hey, if it said Texas was one of the people doing the study, and Texas got hit with that storm too, they're gonna rebuild that, and then what? Probably a 50 smart city. That's why the Lord said, well, let me get that real quick. I think that's 2 Corinthians, though. Not mistaken. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I know it's right there. 2 Corinthians 2:11. I know it's Corinthians. So there's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Now, what are these devices he got now? AI, automated system, robots, humanoids. You got people, remember, the generation to come, like youngins now, these like young kids, 5, 10, between the ages of 5 and 20. Not say between the ages of 5 and 10, from newborn babies to 10 years old. These are going to be the kids, however long we got to be here. As we come, they're going to be used to all this AI robot shit. That's what they're going to be used to. But what? That's why we know it can't be long, because why? Eventually going to have everybody getting see it when they get born. So I'm reading that in NLT. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. It says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. And now these are all the evil schemes. All this AI, all this shit, they're evil schemes. Now, granted, he could paint it as something nice. He could paint it as oh, see, ain't gonna be no more stress on the workers. You don't have to worry about repetitive tasks. He's gonna come with that sweet shit. But no more people taking your bullshit 100% anymore. People always second guessing you now. And that's why you have to usher in this new system. So that we have to kill this money system, because no man can buy or sell. And that's when people going try to get down. Because remember, during the sticky stab, when they was ushering that out, a bulk of the people got it once their jobs were threatened, which is what? Buying and selling, their money. Once he threatens the money, once he threatens your access to money and goods and services, that's when people start to cave. But it should be what? 7 that should not bow to the knee of Baal. The elected are not going to take the MOTB. Because why? We hope to be part of the elect. We fear the Lord that much instead of Esau. A lot of people that's going to got the sticky stab, that's going to get the C-hip, they don't fear YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM. Even though the Lord has had his prophets out here telling the earth to not get it, and what this means if you get it and the judgment that comes with it, and people are still going to get it. A lot of Israelites are going to get it. Hey, I mean, whoever part of the elect that's preaching Israel is not going to get it, but you got these other Israelites groups that's not preaching that the C-hip is the MOTB. And you have people that was in Israelite groups saying that it was okay to get the sticky stab, okay to get the V. Being ignorant of Satan's devices, man. fuck? Fucking shit. It's a lot. But anyway, so yeah, that was pretty much it I want to bring out. So yeah, with that, Lord willing, is edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakadash. Double honors to the powers of Israel, aka the powers of Great Millstone, and peace and love to all the Akim. Continue to preach the truth and all truth and sincerity. Shalom.